healing doesn't always come instantly.
That's right.
When the helmsman of that big cruise ship puts in the input to turn that huge ship, how long does it take to turn?
A little bit.
Quite a while, because you've got a big, huge ship out there, and it's going to start turning. Matter of fact, you won't even notice it at first. It'll be almost imperceptible, and it will go just like that, and it'll eventually get turned around. So James gives us a really important clue here. With our words, we can block or accept and implement the healing power of God. So verse 5 says, even so, the tongue is a little member, and it can boast of great things. See how much wood or how great a forest a tiny spark can set ablaze? And the tongue is a fire. It says a world of iniquity. I remember when we first found out about the power of your words, we were all correcting each other.
Yes, we did.
And we still do, because it's
and that's still important.
It is.
It's still important. You can't just, if you get yourself built up and you say the right words, what Jesus said, and on the good side, instead of the negative, oh, I don't know how I'm going to make it today, I've got so-and-so, oh my goodness, they're just about, I've heard people say, these kids are driving me nuts. Well, you know, that won't happen, just like the rudder on that ship. Yeah. She's not going to be nuts in 30 minutes or a day or two or something like that. It takes a period of time. But the more that happens, whatever you're saying, whether it's on the negative or whether it's on the positive side, eventually you're going to have that. It's proven.
Well, and what is it that makes that hard for people to understand, that when you start confessing the word for your healing, it's not, you know, the ship's not necessarily going to turn around immediately.
Right. That's right.
But when you started having unforgiveness, resentment, and all of these negative things going on, you didn't immediately, you know, you didn't say, oh, that makes me so mad, and then you got sick. I mean,
right.
You know, it doesn't work that way. It's like that ship. It slowly turns. So let's talk about some of the words that people do say. People say, oh, no, I can't do that. I am sick. Now, someone say, well, that's just the truth. I am sick. Well, it may be what's happening in your body right now, but make sure you don't keep saying that, because you will say what you have and have what you say and say what you have, and you'll be stuck. I've had people say, oh, well, it's my arthritis. My arthritis, not...
No, it's the devil's arthritis.
I have arthritis. All right. My signifies possession. I have signifies ownership. Now, I was, I don't know how much we've talked about it, but there was a man that I talked with quite a bit that was Native American, and you know, there's many different Native American tribes, and they all are not alike. People don't realize that. But this man was very attuned to the power of words and to what you say, and he told me specifically, face to face, he said that. He said, you people are so weird. And I said, what do you mean we're weird? And he said, you say, my arthritis, my cancer, my this, my that, I have this, I have that. You say this about sickness. And he said, in saying that, you crystallize it and freeze it in your body. He said, in my belief, he said, that's something that's passing through, and I would not say, I have arthritis, I am, you know, my arthritis. I would say, my knee is paining today.
That'd be one way of doing it.
So he said the truth, you know, my knee is paining today.
But it's not tomorrow.
Or I am fluing today. I have the flu. He said, because we see it as a condition continually changing. It's an energetic condition that passes through and moves on.
That's good.
And the way we view healing and health many times is it's a construction of something that's fixed and solid. And what I'd like to do today is to start taking those things down, and they're ideas that we have. Ideas that we have that sickness is a fixed, permanent thing in our lives. And that is definitely a roadblock to healing.
Yep.
So forgiveness is very big in living in health. What you say with your mouth, with your tongue, is a very big issue.
Right.
Then there are some other things that happen, and here in James chapter 3 it says, even and so the tongue is a little member, can boast great things. It says, and the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. Here's the body again, contaminating and depraving the whole body.
Wow.
So the tongue is tied to health much more closely than even I had ever imagined. Mm-hmm. Just reading this, it jumped out at me. The tongue, the body, the tongue, the body. What you're saying affects your body. Mm-hmm. Then it goes on to the same verse says, the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity, depraving the whole body, contaminating the whole body. It says, and setting on fire the wheel of birth. Now, I did a little bit of research into that, and when it says wheel of birth, cycle of, it is talking about DNA. They didn't have the words for the double helix back then, so they called it a wheel of nature, or a cycle of birth, a wheel of birth. So it says your tongue, you could have inherited the strongest DNA possible.
Yeah.
And with your tongue, you can change it and make yourself ill and sick.
Yep.
In the same manner, you could have inherited your mother's DNA, oh my. You could have inherited your father's DNA in that side of the family. They all died before 40 of heart attacks. You could inherit that DNA, you know, physically.
Right.
But it says the tongue can change that.
Right.
So what I do and what I say is that my DNA is from God.
Amen.
I am a child of God, and I cannot inherit sickness and disease because God is perfect. His DNA is perfect. I cannot inherit sickness and disease. Therefore, I live in health. His word is alive and active and energizing in every cell of my being, and life reigns in me.
Amen.
Well, that was good preaching.
Thank you. What do you do?
Your head starts bothering you as in you're not really well.
You don't feel well. Yeah, you get up that morning and I thought you said you were healed.
I'm not moved by what I hear, what I see, or what I feel. I'm moved by the Word of God, and the Word of God says I am well.
Amen. But sometimes that does happen. That does happen to people. That doesn't mean that everybody gets up feeling like $1 million every morning.
That's right. Well, you know, being a doer of the Word of God and a follower of Jesus Christ and His teaching means that we walk in forgiveness. And if someone chooses not to forgive, then they are forever tied to that person or event. Forgiving is something that you do for yourself. This is why Jesus told us to forgive. It sets you